Today seems to be about learning new things. And I'm kind of wondering, how have I learned in the past? And I kind of had something about that in the yesterday's video already. But how do I learn things now? And how have I learned things in the past? And how did I think to learn things nowadays? Today is an interesting day because it's already starting with learning, and that is that Candace is learning how to drive stick because she's American, and usually, well, in America, you only drive automatic or practically only drive automatic. But in Europe, in Spain, the cars that you get for rental here, at least the cheap cars, are stick shift, and I happen to know how to do that, and so I'm teaching her on this completely abandoned road where practically nobody else drives. And it brought up this thought of mine that learning something new only comes with actually doing something about it, actually taking in the time to have that experience, but also to even just have the curiosity big enough to go and do it. And I think that the curiosity is actually a huge part of it, because if you're not really interested in learning something new, then 1, why would you? 2, why should you? And 3, why would your brain care? And for Candace, I think it is about being able to drive by herself on her own, but let's ask her about that. Why are you interested in learning how to drive stick shift?
Well, I don't want to get stranded and rely completely on you. And I just want to know. I've always wanted to know.
Okay, so there's the motivation for trying to learn stick shift driving, which is already going pretty well, I would say.
You would say?
Yes.
After like 20 stalls later?
Minimum.
Yeah.
But I think that that's a pretty normal thing to learn in the stick shift driving. You will stall a lot in the beginning, and it will happen a lot more in situations where there's a couple of cars behind you on a traffic light or some kind of junction. But I was more so interested in the motivation behind it, because I think without the motivation there would, 1, be no reason to learn it, and 2nd, there would be no motivation for investing the time or the effort, and also the brain. Why would it remember?
I guess I want to be able to, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's kind of like wanting to ride a horse. I just want to be able to to drive a manual in case I ever need to, or just, it does feel fun.
Having more control over the car?
Yeah, it's like you're playing a video game, except with your real life. So it's a little bit different.
Driving a manual is like a video game.
A little bit. Because it's like a craft versus just driving an automatic.
Yeah, you have to know things.
Yeah, you have to know things. You're making different decisions, and it's like, it's an art to do it smoothly and to change and to be in harmony with the car.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say that it is definitely more of a craft, more of an art to drive manual than it is to drive automatic. I think the whole argument of being on your own and not being stranded, going somewhere by yourself without having to have me drive is something powerful. And those are good motivations for doing so.
They're cheaper car rentals.
Way
in
cheaper.
Europe, I guess, apparently.
Yeah, they're way cheaper.
And now we're taking a little break with the horse.
Yeah, we just found a couple of horses around here on the street that we were driving on, and it's these 2 white horses. And Candace is gathering this bamboo shelf stuff and feeding it to the horses that don't have any left on their property. And they ate it all. And yeah, we're just taking a break because I think that's also important in learning something new. But to bring it back to my thoughts on kind of like my motivation and how I learn things by doing them. I learn things by being motivated enough and interested enough by myself. I rarely ever learn something because of school, because that's just not a good reason to tell me, well, you need to know this for the next test. And so I always learn programming by myself, photography by myself, and there's so many resources online and courses and tutorials, and that is one of the amazing things of nowadays time, that you can pretty much learn anything online. It's arguable that you don't even need school, but at the same time the structure and the environment to foster that is still a very powerful one. And it's a topic for another day to revolutionize the school system, but there's cool things happening with Khan University and other places where you can just learn things. YouTube, of course, is an amazing platform to learn more as well. And just all kinds of online course platforms like Skillshare, where I'm planning to put something on as well. And just like yesterday's exploration around the security, privacy, and all that kind of stuff that comes with it, and setting up a Tor relay server, that is a learning process. It's about motivation and figuring out why you want to do things. And once you know that, the learning itself is the easy part, and just finding the resources, all of those are there. They're at our fingertips with video, with websites, with tutorials, and all that kind of stuff. You just have to find out what you want to learn and then go do it.